What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Pam, and today I have a little mini houseplant tour for you. I'm going to take you around the house and show you what the plant I'm going to take you around the house and I'm going to show you what plants have been growing over the winter. We all know house plants don't grow as much during the winter because there is less daylight for them to, make energy from the sun like they do. But that said, I do have grow lights around my house, and that really helps with winter growth. You don't have to take the entire season off seeing your plants do something, so it's kind of nice. And I've had a few that are just growing in the windows, and of course we have the Peperomias and other plants that do like to put on a little bit of growth in the winter time as they are dormant in the summer. So I sat down to film this tour last week, and as I was going around the house, and I usually would, make sure nothing needs to be watered or anything before I start a plant tour, because otherwise I'll get distracted in the middle of filming and I won't finish. So I was running around and looking at my plants, and I happened to notice that the table near one of my humidifiers, where I keep all of my most cherished and precious and difficult to replace, if not impossible, plants, and they weren't, shoved together, but they were sharing some space, and they all got bacterial spot. So I sort of laid in bed for a week. Not just because of that. That was just the thing that did it. But I'm back now, and we're still not going to talk about the plants, okay? I didn't take video. I don't care. I don't want to make content out of it. So we're just gonna look at the other plants, the ones that don't have bacterial spot. Okay, so let's get on with the tour. All right, we will kick this one off with kind of an exciting one. This is the Calathea White Fusion that completely died back about a year ago. And I just kept watering it, and it just came back to life. And I've just kept it under glass, and I don't let it breathe the same air as me. And it has put out so many leaves recently, including this almost all white one. Really pretty. And then I love this one's got that pinkish purple tinge to it. It's such a pretty plant. I'm so glad that I've figured out a way to get it to grow. I do need to trim it a little bit just because some of the leaves will touch the glass and they get cold, and I don't want it to get bacterial spot. Can't get my camera to focus on that little leaf that's coming out right here. There's another one coming. So there we go. This is the first plant that's had a lot of growth over the winter. We'll seal her back into her chamber. So as always, I've had a lot of action on the Hoyas that love to bloom. I have a few that I'm not sure will ever bloom, but these right here, I have a couple of lacunosas, and unfortunately I missed the bloom in the other room on my other one, but I will insert a picture of it here so you can see. But these guys always bloom for me right around now, so that's been really nice to have some flowers in the house, yes, in the middle of the winter. And I've got action over here on my Hoya macrophylla, excuse me. And this one's been just growing an awful lot lately in general. It kind of didn't do anything for a really long time. There's a really nice new leaf right there. It didn't do a lot for a long time, so it's nice to see it finally picking up some steam. And you may remember this fun little philodendron that I cut a while back. It has already grown this entire portion. I cut it, let's see, I cut right here in the fall. And so all of this has come out recently, these upper leaves here. And over here, and they're growing in a north window for the most part, so I'm surprised that I got philodendron sticky stuff on me. God damn it, your extra floral nectaries. Yeah, that guy has put on a lot of growth recently. And over here, amongst the afflicted favorite plants, this is my Monstera albo, and it just put out this leaf a few weeks ago. Here's the last leaf that I had shown you guys, and now this one has come out. It had another leaf coming out here that wasn't on this main vine that's been really doing all the growing. And that one had a couple suspicious spots on it, so I sacrificed that one just for the good of the plant. But it didn't look like it had been necessarily infected, so we're gonna really hope that she's okay. So that's cinnamon on my philodendron ring of fire, but it is putting out some new leaves. Unfortunately, this one came out a bit deformed, and I don't think it was in quite enough light, that's kind of sucky. But this is another one that lost a few leaves, and so did this one. But we're not going to talk about that, remember? Okay, let's move on. My Hoya shepherdii is about to flower again. This is another one of my real performers in the flowering department amongst my Hoyas. Really love that plant. That's the lacunosa that just bloomed a bit ago. I have a feeling it's probably going to do it again. This Phalaenopsis orchid over here, I have been really good about watering this guy here, and it was definitely suffering a little bit from neglect for a while, but now that it is doing better, it's got all kinds of new root growth, and it just put out that big leaf right there, so kind of hoping that I might get another flowering round out of her soon. That would be really cool. So here is my Hoya obscura, and that is also putting out a couple new leaves. Very cute, very tiny, very sun-stressed. Love it. And right there we have a new growth point on my Queen Anthurium. Very, very excited about that. That's the where I had to clip off an old leaf that was falling apart when I got it. And sadly, the other one is starting to follow suit. You can see it's starting to look a little yellow and a little bit sad. I don't know if you guys can tell. Yeah, so you can see it there. It's starting to yellow. So, you know. Got a really beautiful new leaf right here on my Anthurium pedata radiatum. I think I said that right. I'll show you the tag in a second. They have these really cool palmate leaves, and it hasn't quite separated there from that middle one yet. Aaron definitely got me this for my birthday. So now it has three palmate leaves now. Pedata radiatum. Very excited to show you this right here. I'll fix my exposure. Very excited about this right here. This is the philodendron. It was a reverted philodendron pink princess cutting that Pammy from Pammy's Planty Things sent me. And look at the new leaf. Oh my gosh. Check that leaf out. Beautiful. Pretty excited about that one. Got a little glass slippering philodendron neon back there. My autumn ember begonia is very happy with that grow light in there. This thing was down to a couple of very tiny leaves. It had died back quite a bit. But now, as you can see, she's all flushed out and pretty. And of course, my Peperomia ruby cascade continues to just be the champion. It's gotten even longer since the last time I showed it to you guys. Sorry about the light. I have it, you can see it's coming down. It's draped up there, and then it's coming back down again. Heading over to where the grow lights are. You guys asked me for a coleus update, so there you go. These are some of the coleus that I have shown you guys that I've trimmed. This is the one that I think I might have trimmed this one on the last video. So this, you can see how this is still very like twiggy, even though a lot of this has grown back in. I may take this down more just because it doesn't seem like it's going to be, you know, like a really viable stem. So I may get rid of that. We'll see. It does have a lot of little growth coming in here, but you can see this side, this red coleus is always a real great grower for me. And then the little black one in here. Here's the big mama. She's doing really well. You can see this guy's definitely put some growth on. This is a serious Queen of the Night. And here's some exciting news about my bromeliad here. This is one of my grandmother's. This came up from Florida from what was my grandmother's garden of them. And it's got another little pup coming in down there. I'm so excited about this. It's already grown this one over here since I got the original mama plant, which also flowered over the summer. So now we have another little guy coming out of there. And then here is the big Monstera deliciosa that I have in the background of my new filming area. And you can see that this thing has grown like just so much since. This was one of the plants that I split up in my video where I talked about the Planty Kindness Project and like bullying and stuff like that. And I was dividing up a grocery store Monstera that had a few different plants in it. So you can see this thing has grown to be almost as big as my original giant Monstera that Duncan has just about killed off completely, which is another heartbreaking plant story for another day. So here's another leaf coming in. You can see lots of fenestrations in there. Still waiting for some holes on this one, but you can see this leaf is the biggest one. It's like really big. I love it. And of course Duncan beat it up, so it doesn't look perfect anymore, but she sure is a beaut. My little Peperomia terrarium in here is also just it's enjoying a great time this winter. It has grown all kinds of leaves. It's grown all down here. It's like filling in and thickening out, which is very, very cool to see because it was in pretty rough shape when I put it in there just from transit. And it's really held its own. And then we've got this guy down here. This is a Peperomia. It's a Peperomia piccolobanda, and that one is just spreading around down there. Very happy. This is a west-facing window. It doesn't get a ton of light, but Peperomias are pretty happy in that reduced light. And of course, I can't finish off without giving you just a little peek at all the seedlings that are coming up right now. We've got quite a bit of flowers and onions, and my strawberries are actually just starting to pop up, which is super exciting. And of course, you know, I will give you guys a full tour of everything that is sprouting and growing in the next garden vlog, which should be coming up relatively soon. Also wanted to show you guys that I'm finally getting like these beautiful shields on my staghorn ferns, both of them. And you can see like this one has already matured, I guess, turned brown. There you go. Sorry about the focus, guys. Doing my best. And of course there's the Hoya carnosa that has been just a beast of growth since I got it and will never flower despite having one of the best windows in the house and everything it could possibly need. It hates me, but it also loves me because look at it, it's beautiful. And lastly, I just had to show you this little cutting that I took a while back of one of my marble pothos. And you can see, I think this was a marble queen pothos, I'm pretty sure. And you can see that when I took the cutting, it was just a couple of really white leaves. And I ended up clipping them off the plant. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just root them and see if maybe they keep growing, you know, mostly white leaves. And if it lives and whatever. And months later, it's really turned into a really pretty plant with really interesting variegation. So I highly recommend if you have like one branch of a pothos that you kind of like the patterning on and stuff, try to propagate it and see if the variegation holds. I mean, it looks to me like it'll probably start to get more and more green, but still a lot different than the rest of the vines that were in that pot. So I hope you guys enjoyed taking a walk around the apartment and seeing what is growing and thriving right now in the dead of winter. It is February as I'm filming this, and the winter is definitely starting to feel very long. So it's nice to have this kind of stuff to find as little surprises when I'm watering my plants. It's getting me ready for spring though. I am ready. 39 more days. Not that I'm counting. So thanks for hanging out today, friends, and I will see you very soon in the next video.